That's football. I'm Mark Goldbridge, and this is your big game of the Premier League. It's Manchester City against Chelsea, and with Arsenal winning and Liverpool winning, and Arsenal doing it in great style again against a very poor Burnley side, but you still got to go and beat what's in front of you. It becomes a must-win game for Man City. That's what happens in this threesome. If two deliver, the third one's got to get involved, and Manchester City have that opportunity in a very interesting game against Chelsea. A very interesting game. You would certainly put the Manchester City side down as favourites, but there's something for Chelsea to get their teeth into here. If you haven't seen the results today, they are absolutely incredible. Just take a look at those on the screen. I mean, Arsenal winning 5-0, you'd expect. Newcastle drawing against Bournemouth. West Ham losing away at home to away to Forest. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting indeed. And of course, we're missing a couple of results off there. I think, no, Wolves won 2-1, of course, away from home. Villa winning away from home. So I think that there's a couple of games in there that, you know, as an away side, Bournemouth, Villa, Wolves, all doing well. Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, the only home team to win so far today is Nottingham Forest. We've had 4 away wins and a draw. So it's not impossible for Chelsea. They're going to have to be ridiculously well organised. And I think then we're going to need Man City to probably not be at their best. But I don't think they necessarily have been at their best in recent weeks. They've been efficient, is I think fair to say. So Haaland does play for Manchester City. Ederson, Walker, Akanji, Diaz and Aki. Rodri, Foden, De Bruyne, Alvarez, Doku and Haaland. Stones on the bench. Kovacic, Bernardo Silva on the bench. No Grealish, he's picked up an injury. I mean, Bernardo Silva, I've got to just say there straight away before we start talking about Chelsea. The fact that Bernardo Silva plays on the bench for Manchester City, I just find absolutely incredible. I mean, he is, I think, one of the best players in the league, and yet at the moment he's not even in the team. So it just shows you the depth and quality that Manchester City actually have, and why they will be favourites to win this game, of course. Chelsea, how they've lined up? Well, they've got Petrovic, Gusto, Disasi, Colwell, Chilwell, Casido, Fernandes, Gallagher, Palmer, Sterling and Jackson. No Thiago Silva. Presumably he's injured. On the bench, they've got Madueke, Mudryk, Chalobah's on there and Kunku, and then a lot of youngsters. So not a load on the bench, but I have got to say I quite like the balance of that front three. I certainly think it's better than Jackson on the left and Madueke on the right. I like Jackson down the middle if he's going to play. Obviously Sterling and Palmer providing a little bit more balance. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for Manchester City. And I think they'll miss the experience of Thiago Silva in a game like this, because I think Thiago Silva is crucial to the organisation of that Manchester City defence. But I feel that Manchester United... Sorry, not Manchester United. Manchester City will be favourites in the game. Let us know what your thoughts are. Lots of permutations. All I'll say is we watched Man City at home to Everton last week, and I think if Everton had had any type of fluidity and attacking threats, it could have been an interesting game. They certainly defended and kept Man City at bay. And to be fair, even in the Champions League game in midweek, it wasn't an annihilation. So, I mean, look, Chelsea... If I was Pochettino, I'd be looking at that Carabao Cup game in a week. I'd be looking at what they did to Villa away in the Cup, and I'd be thinking, look, Liverpool have got some vulnerabilities with injuries. If we can beat Manchester City or get something out of Man City today, and you take that into a Wembley final against Liverpool, then we could be lifting some silverware, which takes a lot of pressure off Pochettino. So it's a huge game. But I do think Man City will win it. I just hope, after another... very, very satisfying and exciting Saturday in the Premier League, I just hope there is no big VAR decision, because I'm not aware of anything major happening today. I certainly think from the Liverpool game, you know, I don't think the officiating was at the best, but we don't want a game like this being solved by some sort of ridiculous VAR decision. We've seen some tackles, contact fouls in the box today that haven't been given because they've deemed to be soft. let's hope we see that consistency again today in this game. City to win the Champions League again this season, says Leak. And come on, you Gunners, another big win and 15 goals in 3 games. Havertz seems to help us a lot up top, even if not scoring much, says Kieran Parsons. Well, very, very impressive for Arsenal again. And the big thing for Arsenal at the moment is those wins against West Ham and against Burnley have seen an 11 goal difference shift. So they're now on plus 36. They've got the best goal difference out of the top 3. And that's after Liverpool won 4-1. So the Arsenal thing, I think, before Christmas was that, well, I don't think it. I know it. I've been watching it. I'm sure you have as well. They've not been scoring enough goals. But you win 6-0 and 5-0, and it shifts it around very, very quickly. Man United 8-8-8-8-8 is predicting a City 5-0 win. I mean, I wouldn't be so stupid as to not say that that's possible. I think that Arsenal are winning very, very well at the moment. And Manchester City, of course, are capable of dismantling a side. I do have my concerns about the Colwell-Disasi centre-back pairing. I think I've got to be completely honest about that because I do. But on the other hand, it's a big, big opportunity for them, isn't it? It's a big opportunity for them to perform. And I think that in the absence of Thiago Silva, maybe you want to be stepping up into these sort of games and seeing how it goes. But look, I'm not here to say that Manchester City are going to dominate this game and win 3 or 4-0. Chelsea got to stay in the game. The weather's bad. Let's see how it plays out. But I'm going to go with a Man City win, but I don't think they'll win. I can't get the words out. I don't think they'll win by loads of goals, but I think they will win. But look, Chelsea are scroll down FC as well. We've not mentioned that. They're not there. Where's Wally? Where's Chelsea? Well, Chelsea have got 34 points in 11th place. If they were to win today, that would take them up to 37. They can't go above Newcastle, but they would go 8th. And suddenly things look a lot better for Chelsea. I know there's this big expectation that Chelsea won't win this game, but they could. They could win the game. And if they do, it could really give them a boost, a real big boost. Where is he? Let me just send this message. Right, there we go. Get your thoughts in then. Lots of Chelsea fans in the chat. Probably not that many Man City fans. Talk about Calvin Phillips, Mark. Okay, well, we've got a little bit of time, so I will. Calvin Phillips sent off for West Ham today. Massive opportunity for him with... I don't know what Moyes was playing at today, actually, because I don't think Alvarez was actually suspended. I don't know whether he was injured or he just dropped him. Let's have a quick look at the West Ham team. So he played him with Phillips and Soucek was on the bench. Yeah, and Phillips gets sent off. I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but from many people, Phillips had a bad game and he's out of his depth, even in a West Ham team against Nottingham Forest. I mean... my only concern is England. Why are we considering taking this guy? It's like taking your pet dog. I'm sure he's a very loyal and lovely companion, but this is the Euros. He hasn't played all season. He's took a loan deal to get into a team so that Southgate can justify taking him, and he's not good enough for West Ham. So I think that this has to be an indicator to Gareth Southgate to not take him because he's just not good enough. And his decision to go to Manchester City probably seemed like a good one, but it's not necessarily good for his career. We're saying this about Grealish the other day. I'm not convinced Man City was the right thing for him to do. He'll say it is because he's got He's got the winning medals and everything like that. But as a player, Calvin Phillips was a good player at Leeds, and right now he's not. He's not a very good player. But Johnny says I'd take him though, unfortunately. But Johnny, look, of course it's your opinion, but I think that's a bad opinion. Why would you take Calvin Phillips? Like, you don't need to. You got Declan Rice, you got Jude Bellingham, you could take Kobe Mainoo. You could take Curtis Jones. You can take James Ward-Prowse. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. There's so many players better than him that deserve to go to the Euros. I mean, take Jordan Henderson over Calvin Phillips. He's another one, isn't he? I wouldn't necessarily take Jordan Henderson, but I'd take him over Calvin Phillips. So there's absolutely loads of players that I would be taking ahead of him. Lewis Miley, I'd take him. Conor Gallagher, 100%. James Garner, 100%. Ross Barkley, 100%. There's 10 players that deserve to go ahead of Calvin Phillips. You know what? It's actually a disgrace that we're even conversing about the likelihood of him going to the Euros when he's not played football really for 2 years. He hasn't played for 2 years. How many years has he been at Man City? I'm sure he was there last year. He didn't sign last summer, did he? I'm sure he's been at Man City for 2 years. So he's done nothing. Done nothing at Manchester City. So, yeah, Jacob Ramsey's another one as well. Like, he shouldn't be going to the Euros. And there are so many players that are better than him. It's not even a conversation. They're better than him. Loftus-Cheek, Gibbs-White. There's so many. So many. He's been 18 months at City, says Phil Jones. Yeah, so players I wouldn't take. Players I'd 100% take, considering Rice and Bellingham and Henderson are probably a shoe-in now. That's 3 players. There's probably only 2 spots left. Conor Gallagher, Gibbs-White, Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley, James Ward-Prowse, Maddison. I mean, there's got to be loads more. There's got to be Kobe Mainoo, Lewis Miley. You know, that's 8 players I'd take before I took him. And there'll be a hell of a lot more. Curtis Jones, I'd mentioned him as well. 9. Like, there's 9 players for 2 spots I'd take before I took Calvin Phillips. If he takes him, he's an absolute prat. But he'll probably still win the He'll probably still win the Euros. Can you do is a Saka world-class poll? Happy to do it, Connor. And you know what? I'm a little bit undecided about this. Is Saka world-class? I'm of the opinion that we're pretty much at that point. Yeah, because he's so ridiculously consistent for Arsenal, and he's been doing it pretty much since he missed that penalty in the Euros at a ridiculously young age. He basically carries that team's responsibility on his own shoulders. Now, when I think about world-class players at his age in the Premier League, I'm thinking about the Wayne Rooneys, I'm thinking about the Cristiano Ronaldos, and, well, straight away, they were in the same team. I'm not saying, I think Rooney could do what Saka's doing at Arsenal. I think he could carry a team, and I think Ronaldo could, but they were in the same team. I think that Saka at the moment is doing it with good players around him, but he's their Mo Salah. Salah's world class, and he carries that Liverpool team because he's the most important player. They're not a one-man team, but he's the most important player. Saka is the most important player, and everybody knows it, and he still scores goals. So I think it was a great point there about defining what world class is, and I do agree with that. But in my opinion, I think that Saka is just about in there. However you define it, I think he's just about in there. Because for me, world class is I've always said world class for me is a select few players. It's not a list of 20. Like, we're talking 10, 11, 12 players at any one time. Some people have world class and they've got like 60 players. I mean, Saka's comfortably in the top 60. Is he in the top 10, 11 players at the moment? And I'd say he's just about is. I think for me, world class is the best 10 players in the world. And it can be a little bit more because you might have 10 attackers and then you go, well, is he a world class right back? So, yeah, for me, I like to think there's 10 to 15 world-class players at any one time. And I think Saka's got to be considered there. I think he's got to be considered to be in that sort of category at the moment. Anyway, one player who is world-class is Kevin De Bruyne. He's starting this game. I can't see anything other than a Man City win, but I'd love to see it. I mean, as a United fan, I'm very, very happy that Wolves have gone to Spurs and won today. United could be 3 points off Spurs if we win tomorrow. So, yeah, lots to play for. Looking forward to it. Kevin Wallace says, I don't think he's quite there yet, Saka, but he's not far off. And for FN says, I think Bernardo Silva is better than Saka. Yeah, well, it's not a bad point. Thoughts on Iniesta talking to Rangnick about problems, says Kanyai? Well, it's common sense. Speak to as many people as you can. They should speak to Ollie. They should try and speak to Mourinho. Everybody who's been part of the mistakes. Just got my United Stand Butcher hoodie and I love it, says Garg. It is a good one. Thanks for your support, mate. So, Connor, you've got your world-class poll going on there. It's quite a good one. Man City starting off with the ball here. Steve says this game at Stamford Bridge was an absolute classic. It was. It's a confidence thing, though. Do Chelsea back themselves? I mean, Doku's had quite a lot of the ball early on here. I'm not massively convinced. Oh, Sterling ducking a 50-50 there in the first few minutes. It's not something you ever want to see, is it? And an early shot for Man City. And that all comes because Sterling doesn't fancy a 50-50. And, yeah, look at this pass into Sterling. He doesn't want it. Kyle Walker's quicker than him. And that's something as, you know, if you're Pochettino, you look at that and you go, this is the problem I've got. Have I got 11 players that are going to give me absolutely everything? Yeah, for me, it's about confidence for Chelsea. Get through the first 20 minutes, maybe have a shot of your own. But you need 11 players to do their thing. Tim says, Saka's not world class. If you look at the top 5 leagues, there are much better players than him. But Premier League fans only watch the Premier League, says Tim. But why would I look at other leagues? The Premier League's the best league in the world. So if Saka's performing week in, week out in the best league in the world, why do we need to look at other leagues to compare them to Saka? They should be playing in our league. I mean, most of you won't be old enough for this, but when I grew up, Serie A was quite comfortably the best league in the world. Had all the best players, and that's where you needed to be playing to be considered one of the world's best players because you were playing in the best league. I don't need to look at the Bundesliga. I don't need to look at La Liga. I don't need to look at the French league because, to be honest, their leagues can't deal, you know, whether we like it or not, and it's hard for some people to be self-reflectively arrogant, but the Premier League is the best league in the world. And players that perform well in it have to be considered the best players in the world. It's the truth. It's the truth. What do you think of the Grealish situation at City? Doesn't really seem to start a lot, but I think he's better than Doku. But I mean, I was going to sort of talk about it. I mean, Grealish can't play today because he's injured, but I mean, Doku offers something that Grealish doesn't, pace. And I think Pep likes that pace. Because in the modern game, pace is still a very important thing in the final third. So I think that's why Doku plays. I've said it before. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Pep Guardiola does with Doku, because at the moment, I'm absolutely convinced he's just Alan St. Maximum. Like, not obviously it's Alan St. Maximum. Is playing in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying they're the same person, but ability-wise, massively exciting players who don't seem to know what they're doing when they've got the ball. Now, what Pep will try and do is, you know, develop him as a player. And Doku's very exciting, and there will be games where he absolutely tears it up. He scores a couple, he gets a couple of assists, but he's a very raw talent at the moment. The Saka debate's really going off in the chat. I'm all here for it. I'll read some of them out. But Beating Wolves isn't for everyone. Spurs, says Ash. Oh, it's massive. Man United, Luton tomorrow. Who'd have thought it'd be such a massive game? It's so big. Can't wait for it. Paul, has Klopp's midfield rebuild been effective, says Harvey. We don't need to poll on that. It's obvious. I've been talking about this since August. I mentioned it in my match reaction. Alexi McAllister's got to be the most underrated player in the Premier League signings of last summer. I just don't get why he's not getting praised. I think if he was, if Alexi McAllister actually was Scottish, they wouldn't shut up about him. He's for the price, half the price of Declan Rice, and he's done the same job. You know, he's provided that stability and platform for a team that's in a title race. Steady start by Chelsea, which is good to see in the first 5 minutes. And a nice ball into Nicholas Jackson here. He needs to get his head up. Idiot. Runs into Man City's defender. And again, Sterling didn't want a 50-50. But he's done all right there. Oh, God. Just pass the ball. Enzo takes out Foden. Okay. It's a shame Chelsea are crap because I really like that kit, says Connor. Saka or Bernardo Silva, says Fraser. I will do that one for you. So I'll come back to that one because I still think this current poll's got a bit to go. No, right, there's nobody on Foden here. He's into the box. Right hand side. Thinks about diving, but it was a fair tackle. Chilwell does well. And it's a throw-in. Have you seen Saka Ronaldo stats after first 200 games, says Danny? Yeah, I spoke about it this lunchtime. Basically, Saka's got more goals than Ronaldo had after 210 games. But this is why the eye test is more important than stats. So, you know, it's just an inflammatory infographic that's trying to make out that Saka might be better than Ronaldo, which is bullshit. Saka himself will know that. Just because he's scored more goals doesn't mean he's a better player. As I said, Scott McTominay scored more goals than I think Liverpool's midfield has combined. Lovely ball into Conor Gallagher. He won't have the pace to get away there, but they've got a bit of an overlap on the right-hand side. He's chucking it down with Raheem. Cole Palmer, and nearly said Cheryl Cole. She's doing a great job for Chelsea. Here's Conor Gallagher. He may as well hit it. It's a good cross. Why is Nicholas Jackson not aware there? I mean, that's just football IQ. Like, He's gone wandering to the back post. Watch this here. Watch the movement of Nicholas Jackson here. It's terrible. Everything about the Chelsea build. And hold your run. Just hold your run. Where's he going there? He's never getting on the end of that. He should hold his run. That's exactly what Poch is saying. He's just running and he can never get the ball. Just hold your run and you've got a tap in. Oh, it's so frustrating when you see a player that just gets lost in the moment and just can't read the game. It's a shame because Conor Gallagher does everything right. This is why Chelsea need a good striker. What's your opinion on the Super Bowl being bigger than the Premier League? I watched the debate on TalkSport last week, says Stuart. Well, it's not bigger, is it? The Super Bowl event gets a lot of people watching it. But the Premier League doesn't have an event. So as a collective, gets more views. Mark, do you think Nunez will be an all-rounder forward who gets you 15 goals with as many assists as over 25 plus goals? All-round forward, says Opinionated Observer. I think Nunez, if he reaches his potential, is meant to be like Harry Kane, like a modern striker who can get you assists but needs to score more goals. I don't think he can be an all-rounder. I think he's got to score more. Yes, keeper, that's yours. Hey up, ref. He wasn't going to give a foul for that. This is where the game is broken, look. Watch this back. The referee actually said play on. This is how stupid these refereeing rules are about Akanji's literally just barged into him there. Not looking at the ball. And the referee says play on. It's stupid. These goalkeeping things are stupid now. It's gone the other way. Yeah, so the Super Bowl is not bigger than the Premier League. Because you're taking one event and trying to say it beats a whole series. You can only compare the NFL season to the Premier League season. The Super Bowl is bigger than the FA Cup. Is the Super Bowl bigger than the Champions League? That's where you compare it, because that's the biggest game in domestic football. The Premier League is a season. Nothing can compete with it. I love both and play American football. Soccer is bigger. The Super Bowl is an American event, means nothing elsewhere. Darren, I don't know why we have to compare it anyway. Is that just an American arrogance thing, trying to make out the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in the world? Well, whether it is or it isn't, it doesn't really matter, because I like the Super Bowl and I love football, so it doesn't really bother me at all. Here's Doku. But a good start by Chelsea here. They've got to get to 20 minutes. Conor Gallagher, very impressive again. Sterling's the ball. Not against Kyle Walker. Not against Kyle Walker. And again, Nicholas Jackson with all the footballing IQ of a corpse. Terrible. Well, I mean, the pass is shit anyway. He shouldn't be playing that pass because Kyle Walker's a bit quicker than Sterling. I mean, do these players actually know the sport they're playing in? Like, in that position, whether I'm playing pub football or Premier League football, if I see Sterling running through with Kyle Walker behind him, I'm not playing the pass. So wait, it's a dead ball. What's your thoughts on Odegaard IQ versus Fernandes? Says Bandam. I've not really had any thoughts on it, really. I think Odegaard's a better number 10 than Bruno has been in the last 18 months. Begrudgingly, it's true. Thoughts on FA Cup media rights deal? Disgrace. Goal. Oh! It should have been 1-0. I said it before it hit the net, and it didn't hit the net. They get into a position here. Alvarez, the cross back. You'd fancy Haaland to score here. You'd really fancy him to score there. He's up high on Colwill. Dead centre, 6-yard box, heads it over the bar. That's a miss. Big miss. Big chance for Haaland. I've got him as my captain today as well in FPL. I mean, I don't want him to score. If he scores, I get the benefits. Yeah, so the FA Cup is going to go to TNT and be taken off, free to view, which I think it's a stupid idea. I really do. I don't think the FA Cup's that popular anymore, and I think it will make it less popular putting it behind a paywall. Here's Sterling up against Akanji. Has the shot straight at the keeper, no power. I'm doing all right on my FPL. I've got 42 points before De Bruyne and Haaland. Yeah, I'm not answering that, Steve. Farden says, actually, Haaland scoring will lose you points because a lot of people have triple capped him. Oh, yeah, good point. Never thought of it like that. Yeah, good point. Here's De Bruyne. They've got to get to 20 minutes, Chelsea here. They've got to do an Everton, defend well, and have an out ball, which Everton didn't have. Martinelli's better than Saka. Rodri's better than Rice. English biasness, says Akash. I don't think Martinelli's better than Saka, mate. I don't think there's an Arsenal fan in the world that thinks that. Anyway, I'm going to close this poll because it's been stuck on it for ages. Is Saka world class? 55% have said yes, and 45% have said no. Right, I was asked to do this other poll, which I'm about to do now. Bernardo Silva or Saka, either or. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with That's Football. Got lots and lots of content coming up for you. Daily content. Next watch-along, I think it's Tuesday in the Champions League, actually. Unless I do Monday Night Football, which is Palace-Everton, but I'm not 100% sure. Good interception by Chilwell. Sterling does well to get it to Palmer. Up against Aki, all on his own. Got no service, but gives it into Gusto. And that's terrible. Mark, what is your definition? Wait a minute. Doku down that left-hand side. Gusto's out of position. Casido on the cover. But there's options here. Rodri will hit it, surely. Good block. Enzo Fernandez. And Disasi does well there, actually, under pressure. Casido doesn't. And the free kick is given. Matthew Robinson, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, what's your opinion or definition of world class? Personally, world class is top 3 for every position. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a very subjective and personal assessment. If you had 3 players in each position and they're all world class, that might work. You might be scratching around though if you do that, because what if there's not 3 world class left backs? So I do it in the sense that I think it's the top 10 players in the world with a buffer of 5. So if my top 10 players in the world are all attackers, I might have a 5 which is based on goalkeeper, centre back, left back, etc. So I think 10 to 15, but it might be less. You know, let's be honest. We don't need to set parameters. What if there isn't that many? You know, there has been times in my life where I've looked at it and gone, there's a lack of real world-class players, because of course the bar of world-class will be set by people that you've seen in your life. So if you've seen a Zidane, or you've seen a Messi, or you've seen a Ronaldo, do you let the bar drop, or do you just go at the moment that I don't think there's actually that many world-class players about? So yeah, it can be. It's an interesting thing, and it's always been a personal thing. Mark, got any Bitcoin? Says, I cut my farts. No. Will there be a cooking video or any more videos with your pub soon? Says Jake. Yeah, next week. Keep an eye out on this channel. What's going on here? Edison's in a bit of trouble, but the ball's with Nicholas Jackson, so he'll be fine. Who shits out one of the worst crosses you'll ever bloody see. That's 3 in a row from Nicholas Jackson. He's got a hat-trick of bad decisions here. Lovely ball into Cole Palmer. Great tackle by Nathan Aki. I mean, he is dreadful. He is dreadful. I mean, is there any Chelsea? I mean, what do Chelsea fans think about Nicholas Jackson? I mean, he's all heart, but there's no brain there. I mean, what's this ball here? What the fuck is that? Keep the possession. It's terrible. I'm telling you now, I said this last time I watched Man City play Chelsea. If Chelsea had an Erling Haaland up front, or an Ollie Watkins, or an Ivan Toney, they'd be a better team. Like, he's just not good enough. He's not good enough. And I don't care how many goals he scores for them, he's not got the IQ to play at the top level. His decision-making is terrible. Have you seen the Newcastle penalty, says Resco? No. Is it controversial? Nicholas Jackson's young, apparently, says interesting vids. He's 22. And he'll be 23 in June. Not young enough. That's not young, mate. He's a year younger than Erling Haaland. Same age as Saka, says Josh. Yeah, he's not. He ain't going to... I'll tell you now, I'll make a statement. Nicholas Jackson's not going to turn into a world-class striker. He's not going to go to bed with a few beans on his pillow and wake up like prime Lewandowski. You can tell if a player's got the football IQ. You know, he didn't have the... He's meant to be a bloody striker. And he's running into the penalty box, shielded by the goalkeeper and Edison. What do you think's going to happen? A magic ball's going to find him on the back post. You've got to hold your run. And you get the cut back. That cross there. What's he trying to do? A magic cross? Think he's fucking Harry Potter? There's nobody in the middle and there's 4 Man City players there. He's just kicking the ball into space. He's not thinking. It's basics. I'll tell you what Nicholas Jackson is. He's a talented player who's made it where he's made it because he's got talent. And what's going to be the barrier to making him be good enough to play for Chelsea or Man City is going to be the IQ. He's talented, he's quick, but he ain't got the IQ. Now, he's either going to have to learn that, which I don't think he will, or he'll never make it. It'll just be another player. Mudryk's got the same problem. Mudryk has got exactly the same problem. Talented, 100% talented. Has he got the application, consistency and the IQ? I don't know why he's playing over Nkunku. But look, we've hit the 20-minute mark. And what I would say is I think Chelsea, to their credit, again, have played reasonably well against a team that's better than them. And if they can keep this up, I think Liverpool and Arsenal fans will be looking at this and be thinking, early days, but this you never know. Do you think Anthony's got the same problem at United as Phil? I think this is a great example, yes. I think Anthony is a talented player, but from what I've seen so far, he doesn't seem to grasp the IQ required of a Premier League footballer. Eredivisie, fine. But I don't think he... I mean, this is the best league in the world. Like, we're not saying that they're not good enough to go and play in the French league or La Liga. This is the best league in the world. And in the best league in the world, if you haven't got it, you might not be quite good enough. It's like playing in the Championship or the Premier League, you know? Vincent Kompany, he can win a lot of games in the Championship. He can't buy a win in the Premier League. So, yeah, I think you make a good point. I think Anthony is quite similar. He's got a talent, but he's struggling to express that talent in the Premier League. And it's a mindset. And it's a consistency. I think Nicholas Jackson will score goals, and hopefully he'll score goals in this game. And it's a nice layoff there. I mean, there is a talent there. There's no doubting it. But you need more. Would you take Palmer to the Euros, says the wheelbarrow? I think I probably would. But I'd take Rashford to the Euros. I did a video on this week on Alice Talks Football channel. And I would take Rashford because he offers something different. And in a tournament, that's a good thing. Lovely ball here. If he can square it quick enough. It's not done it quick enough. Jackson! He's bloody missed it! I fucking told you! I'm not talking nonsense! I'm not talking nonsense! I've got to make a bloody... It's like a premonition. I told you. There's people sticking up for him in the chat. I've been telling you about him for the last 5 minutes. That should be 1-0. He's bad. He's bad. He's bad. I told you. I mean, to be fair, Gusto should have got it to him earlier, but he's still got to score that. This is the thing. If you're Pochettino, you've had 2 big chances. Look at this. It's lovely play. Cole Palmer, what a ball. Now, Gusto should get it to him first time there, but he still gets it to him. Why is he taking it on his left foot? Look at this here. Low IQ again. What are you controlling that with your left foot for? Outside of your right. You know, if he controls it with the outside of his right and just moves it, it's in your stride. It's outside, inside. And he controls it with his left. Look at these City players again. Pounding the referee. Surrounding the referee again. Has he given a penalty here? What are we talking about? A penalty for that? Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? There's nothing about that that's wrong. That's City players surrounding the referee. Absolutely nothing in that. They should be banned. See, if he gets this outside of your rights, that's terrible. Again, it's technique, it's football IQ. That's terrible. The cross comes across him and he takes it with his left. God, the technique in that, kids, is completely wrong. If you're learning the game and you want to know how to play up front, do not control the ball like Nicholas Jackson there. If you're taking it with your left foot, if you're controlling it with your left, you've got to finish with your left. You don't control it with your left and then try and get it on your right. Get the foot you want to shoot with in the game. Terrible technique. He's had to move his whole body into some sort of jumping shit. Oh, God. You can see the IQ in Hoyland. You can't see it in Jackson, says Jack. Who would you rather have, Nketiah or Jackson, says It's Flows. I think I would probably have Jackson. I think Jackson's got a talent. He's just infuriating. All my life, the most frustrating players are the ones that have the talent but don't have the IQ. Got to take these chances against City, says Phoenix. Michael, I know what Phil McCrack is. Would you take Palmer to the Euros? Yes, I would, the wheelbarrow. Oh, here we go. It's a 3v2. Casido's going to get back, but De Bruyne doesn't have the pace. But it's a lovely ball into Haaland. Back into De Bruyne. Keep it tight. Who's marking Doku? Corner. It's a cracking game, but it should be 1-0 to Chelsea. You've got to take these chances in a game like this. You have to. You bloody have to. I'm more involved in this than bloody Chelsea fans. I don't think Man City have been playing that well lately, but they'll beat them because they're efficient. You've got to take your chances. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, cross comes in. Well done by the keeper. Haaland looking for a penalty. Cross comes in, headed away. Disasi's doing well. You need to want that, Jackson. Chilwell. Oh, he nearly got Sterling through one-on-one there. It's all going on. It's all going on here. 58% of the poll went for Bernardo Silva over Saka, by the way. You can't give a penalty for that. If they give a penalty for that, that is a joke. I've literally seen about 6 of these not given recently. Play on. Yeah. You can't be given a penalty for that. I thought, you know what? My heart was going like that for a minute. You can't give a penalty for that. They've already had one of those this season in the Manchester derby. You can't be giving penalties for that. Happens in every fucking game. I was like that for a minute, Sonic. Lucy. Big shout out to the members in the chat. Got your badge in. Appreciate your support. Here he is, Jackson. Here he goes. Look, gives it to a Man City player. Yeah, good stuff. Good tackle, Casido. Play on, ref. Oh, well done, Colwell. Let's get fighting. Let's get scrapping here. Here he goes, Jackson. He doesn't even know where he's going. Wins a throw-in. Book Diaz for shouting and pointing. I can't stand how City get away with this. Look at him. He's not the captain. Look at Diaz. You're not the captain. He's just clapped the referee as well. I hate watching City in big games because their players get away with loads of dissent every bloody time. He's walked to the referee, he's clapped him in his face and shouted at him. Oh, it's Man City, I can't do anything, I'm powerless. Any other shirt, you're getting a booking. Right, stretch time. Chelsea have done well, though. I'll give them some credit. They've done well. They need to take some positivity. Imagine Chelsea with Tony, says Aidan. If Christian's right, that's a yellow card for anyone else. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tweet it as well. because it needs highlighting, because then some twat at the PGMOL might see it. Half an hour. Do you consider Chelsea and United sleeping giants as Chris? Well, Man United are a sleeping giant. Chelsea, have they been off the scene long enough to be a sleeping giant? I mean, you won a Champions League more recently than anybody apart from City. I don't think Chelsea have been off the path long enough to be a sleeping giant, to be honest. Up the Villa, Spurs feeling the pressure now, Mark. If you win, says Ryan, that's a really good result for Villa today. Really, really good. And the Spurs one's shocking. I mean, I was looking earlier at the Spurs team when the teams came out, so obviously before 3 o'clock. And Sarr, Basuma, Maddison, Kulusevski, Richarlison, and Son. Porro, Udogie, Romero, Van der Ven, Vicario. I think it's the first time they've put their best 11 out since early November. And I was like, bloody hell, what a team. I tweeted it. I think I actually tweeted it. What a Spurs 11. Completely jinxed the shit out of them, be honest. But I didn't expect that. At home, with that team, just shows you the Premier League is so unpredictable. No, Udogie didn't play. And Porro was out as well. Sorry, I got that completely wrong. I think I focused more on their front six. But look, it just shows the quality of the Premier League. Last week, Brentford go to Molineux and win. Then Wolves go to Spurs and win. It's Bournemouth getting a draw at Newcastle. Yeah, it's an interesting league. Here's Jackson. He's got to play this now. Good ball. Sterling's got to go wide. Too long. Wrong ball. Idiot. Again, I mean, is Sterling any better? He's actually looking at the right pass and turns away. I couldn't manage this Chelsea side. I couldn't manage them. Like, they're just... The decisions. Here's Sterling. I think he's offside. He's fucked it up anyway. Another one-on-one. Sterling's joining the Jackson club here. And I tell you what, it's a 3v3 for City. Straight at the keeper. That's 2 one-on-ones they've had, and I think Sterling was offside, to be fair. But you know what? You look at these types of games and you think, yeah, this is good. But Man City are the sort of team that can win games in lots of different ways. They can win a game 1-0. They've got a good defence. So, yeah, Chelsea have done very, very well so far. But it still doesn't stop the fact that Man City are more than capable of just winning it 1-0. City descent, no. Arsenal, Liverpool would get a yellow card, says Logan. Imagine Casemiro did that as well, says Oscar. I don't know why it is. They've always been... They get away with it. They get away with it. FSG's not sold on Doku yet. Very raw. Very, very raw. Reminds me a lot of Alan St. Maximum, as I've said before. Joel Morris says, do you think that Cole Palmer and Harvey Elliott should get called up for the Euros? I don't know about Harvey Elliott. I think that I think Cole Palmer's got a good chance, yeah. Free kick here for Man City. Kevin De Bruyne about to whip it in. Headed away. Ban says Casido is a foul merchant. I don't know whether we've got how many Chelsea fans we've got in the chat, but with Casido, yeah, I don't think we've seen the best of Casido as a Chelsea player yet. I think Enzo Fernandez, we've seen bits. Lovely ball into Haaland. Nearly took it down. Keeper needs to be quick. And he's there. I mean, look, I like Casido at Brighton. I think he was a good player. Do I think he was worth 100 million quid? No. But to be fair to Chelsea, it wasn't like no one else was looking to buy him. Liverpool wanted him as well. So there's clearly a player there. Has he settled yet? Probably not. Well, no. I mean, Chelsea arguably been the better team here. I think Man City have been the better team in possession, but when it comes to chance creation, Chelsea have been better. No doubt. But you've got to take those chances. Conor Gallagher. They won't want to lose him. I think he's going to run it off. I'm on Talk Sport straight after this at 7:30 till 9, by the way. It will be live on YouTube and you can call in. I think they're doing some sort of WhatsApp message thing as well, which might get quite interesting. But yeah, there's so much to talk about today. West Ham have lost again. Burnley lose again. Did you know that Burnley have lost more games in the Premier League now than the season they got relegated? And it's only mid-February. Tottenham losing as well. You know, are they being Spursy? Liverpool, great win, but lots of injuries. Aston Villa bounce back, big win for them. And of course, we saw that Newcastle drew with Bournemouth. In fact, if Man United win tomorrow, and you look at that league table, Man United win tomorrow, 7-point gap between 6 and 7. That cuts them all adrift, really, doesn't it? I think you'd have to say that. There's the stats. 63% possession for Man City so far. But two shots on target each. City have had more shots. Of course, Chelsea looking to counter well, but 93% pass accuracy for City. How old's Rodri? He could do with retiring. Oh my God, he's only 27. Fucking hell. Bloody hell. He's only 27. He's probably, the way he plays the game, he's probably got another 8 years. It's crazy how much young English talent there is out there, says the Wheelbarrow. I thought he was like 32, Rodri. Bloody hell. Surely Rodri's the sort of player that would go to Barcelona, though. If Barcelona got their act together, they weren't so in debt. Rodri's absolutely prime Barcelona player, isn't he? I mean, he ain't going to want to stay at Man City for love. It's for money, isn't it? He's the new Busquets, yeah. Crowd's a bit quiet, says Twisted. Apparently they take requests. They've got like a little radio announcer guy who will, he takes requests. So just send him a text and say, start singing, oh, Kevin De Bruyne, and he'll try and get it going. But Chelsea done well here. Doesn't mean they're going to get anything from the game. We know what Man City are capable of. But mission accomplished if they can get to half-time without conceding. Just the same old problem with Chelsea, isn't it? You look at them and you go, if you had £1 billion, would you not have bought a striker? Get them to sing Agadoo. That would make City a lot more exciting. Nice play by Nicholas Jackson there. Now put it into the space. Back post, back post, back post. He's got it right. Sterling, don't mess this up. He's messed it up. Oh, he hasn't. It's 1-0 to Chelsea. Jackson and Sterling combine. And actually, let's give them some credit. Despite what I've been saying all half, that's really good. Nicholas Jackson plays the layoff. He runs the channel. He plays the pass first time. Sterling cuts it back instead of committing. I think Kyle Walker's still sliding into somebody's DMs there, it would seem, because he's sent him back to somewhere. But look at this. Lovely little flick by Jackson. That's the talent. That's the pass. First time. Look at Kyle Walker again. Made himself look a quite like positional sense, you see. This is the thing about Kyle Walker. Positional sense, he hasn't actually got it. He's just got recovery pace. What he's doing there, I'll never know. I mean, why is he holding hands with Akanji? He's left Sterling. This goal is on Kyle Walker, I'm afraid. From a City point of view, he's gone wandering out of position and then he can't get back. But it's a lovely goal. 1-0 Chelsea. And they probably just about deserve it. That's a cracking goal. And for the first time, at the right time, Nicholas Jackson gets it exactly spot on, and Sterling gets it spot on. And up until that point, both of them had been struggling with their decision-making, but they got it all right there. Right, you've got to get to half-time now, Chelsea. Got to get to half time now. Mark, if you have a choice to pick one player from City and one from Chelsea to add tonight to United, who would you go for? Says Ali. I think at City I probably would take Rodri. I think he's their most important player. And I think at Chelsea, I would probably take... it's tough at Chelsea. It's tough for Chelsea, really. From this Chelsea lineup, it's really tough. I mean, Cole Palmer's a good player. I do like Enzo Fernandez. It's a lovely cross. But Disasi is having a very good game. Probably his best game I've seen him have for Chelsea. Playing very, very well. Stepping up into the void left by the experienced Thiago Silva. He's actually having a really good game. Mark, who do you think is better, Rodri or Fernandinho? Obviously different players and both great, but interesting debate, says Joe. I think Rodri. I think that he's so... Off the line by Disasi. Ball goes out. What a half he's had. Disasi's on fire. Your attack is terrified. Disasi's on fire. Look, he's done it again. Off the line. These corners, I mean, you know, Man City don't play like this, but corners are becoming very important for them, aren't they? The way that you can whip it onto the keeper. Who do you think will get fourth, says Vito? Oh, I don't know. United have got to win tomorrow to put themselves right in that race. 3 minutes about a time. Fight Fan says no more videos on the United stand. I think one's just gone up. Pretty sure one's just gone up. Mark, what self-respecting football club needs to start chants? Chants are organic, says Anglo-Saxon. What? An assist from Jackson. Pure football IQ, says Cozy. Will City get top four, says Chris? I would think so. Three minutes though. City have still got time to get back into it in this half. Psychologically, going 1-0 for Chelsea would be a big boost. But Doku's into the box. It's a good cross, but it's Disasi again. He's celebrating every tackle at the moment. He's gonna tire himself out celebrating like this. This could be a goal. Alvarez over the bar. Should have been a corner, that. It is. Higher or lower? 75% that Liverpool win the league. If City lose this match, says Connor. Well, no, because City can go to Anfield and win, can't they? Edge of the box. Where's the defence from Chelsea there? Disasi is the man to get rid of it. Get the block. Tell you what, man, you know what? Chelsea, if they can get to half-time, if I was Pochettino, I'd be saying, keep it like this. Keep it like this because the counter goal is going to be there for you all half, second half. Here's Doku. Aki with the cross. Haaland. Got a good head on it. I wouldn't rule City out. City could come back and win this 1-4-1. But you know what? I have said it. I said it before the game. Chelsea play better against the better sides. Where they can counter, and City are not their best this season. They're more than capable of winning the league, and I still think they are favourites, but they're not this dominant Man City at the moment. The flow of Man City is not quite the same this year. But I saw United win league titles when, you know, one season it's a vintage year. The next season, it's about getting the job done, and I think they're in a job done mode. Man City, they could still win the title in that mode. Loving the passion from Disasi, says Max. Yeah, I want to say that. I've not been convinced by him this season, but I think he's been brilliant today. Can he type? United were looking at him. There is no disaster for Mr. Disasi, says Havard, and thank you very much for your super chat there. Yeah, get your thoughts in. Let's have a quick look here at what the stats are at half time. I mean, the story of the half is very, very simple. Don't forget that our Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can download it for free through the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner. Get all your latest breaking football news, scores, and transfer news on the OneFootball app, available on Apple and Android for free. Plus, you can get more in-depth stats on the app as well, which individualise it for the players, etc. So 68% possession for Manchester City. I don't think anybody would be surprised by that. 94% pass rate. You know, this is the Pep way, tiki-taka and all that shit. But 13 shots, only 2 on target. Chelsea, 3 shots, 3 on target. So what you're getting there is a possession team being counted on clinically. The fact is, Nicholas Jackson should have scored. Chelsea, arguably, it should be, Haaland should have scored with that header, I think. But apart from that, I haven't seen a chance that Man City should have scored from. So, and also, we don't know whether the Sterling chance was offside. I don't think it was given offside. It probably would have been given offside on VAR, but Chelsea should have probably scored every single chance they've had. So 3-0 to Chelsea would have been incredible, but they have had good chances. I think you're playing the best team in the world, the treble winners, the title holders, the Champions League holders in their own back garden. Chelsea would be all over at points, but they've got to keep concentrating at the back. They've got to keep working hard at the back. And they've got to be effective on the break. They've got to make Man City be scared. And I said this before the game. I watched Man City play Everton last week, and Everton defended fantastically well, but they had no outlet. Calvert-Lewin was dreadful. They had no outlet at all. Chelsea are a better team attacking-wise than Everton, and what they've done is replicate the work and organisation that Everton did last week. But they've also had an outlet on the break. And look, that goal, if you're interested in it, I mean, Kyle Walker gets a lot of praise, but I've always said, take his pace away. Where does he play? Is he a Luton right back? Is he an Everton right back? Is he Preston North End? His pace is an attribute. Pace on a FIFA card is an attribute. But Kyle Walker's pace sometimes leads to problems. And if you look at that chance, what is he doing holding hands with Akanji? He's the right back. He should be running alongside Sterling, and that's why the goal happens. He's wandered across the pitch. Again, poor positional sense. Yes, he's got the recovery pace to go back at Sterling, but Sterling just sells him a shot. And then he slides in, he's on his arse, and that's how Sterling scores. So, you know, it's not the first time this season I've seen Kyle Walker's positional sense. What was the game where he stood off him? Was it Spurs? He's just stood off him for ages because he fancied himself with the pace. He got cocky, says P Money. Yeah. So look, Chelsea are good for the goal. Man City aren't out of this game, not by any means. But why Man City have to get back into the game is quite simply this. This is the league table as it stands, and Man City would be in 3rd place. Yes, they've got a game in hand, but that game in hand would only take them level with Arsenal, who've got a better goal difference at the moment. So Man City need to win this game. They need to turn it around completely, and then if they win the game in hand, they would have 58 points. But at the moment, this would be a terrible blow for them. So I'm sure they'll come back into it. I'm sure Pochettino expects them to come back into it. I think the big thing is, can Chelsea manufacture the next goal in this game? Is there a way for them to get the next goal? Because if it goes to 2-0, it's a very, very different game. Yeah, it was the Newcastle game against Gordon, wasn't it? You're right. Exactly right. He stood off Gordon, didn't he? And look, I think Kyle Walker's got to go to the Euros. I think Kyle Walker's a very, very good right back, and pace is an attribute. But I think sometimes that pace, you know, if you imagine having the pace that Kyle Walker's got, you know you're quicker than everybody else by a long way, and you know it can get you out of trouble. But here, look, where's he going? He's coming across because he thinks he needs to cover, and he didn't. And he's so fast, but he's out of position. Look, he comes across here, but Akanji's there. And it's too late. He's got himself into a right mess. And if he stays central, that goal doesn't happen. Mark, what's the logic behind a struggling Chelsea being able to give a good game against City and Liverpool, but United get stuffed 7-6-3, 5-0, 5-0? Says that's what she said. But what's the logic behind Chelsea losing at home to Forest and Wolves? And, you know, Chelsea are a typical team that when they play the better teams, they can rise. But when they play the rest of the league, they can't. Whereas Man United, we're in a top 4 race again, and we were in the top 4 last year. And yeah, I admit, it's not nice losing to Liverpool 7-0. But I'd rather be United than Chelsea, because Chelsea just don't deliver against 75% of the league. I reckon they'll give Liverpool a game next week as well. There's some of the way that Chelsea have countered. I mean, Conor Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, the technical ability of those players to create these breaks has been, you know, gusto as well. But the consistency is not there with Chelsea. I don't understand the logic behind it. I mean, of course, when you're Chelsea playing at home against Wolves or Nottingham Forest, the onus is on you to have the possession and create the chances. When you're Chelsea away from home at the Etihad, you're not expected to have the ball and you're not expected to have the chances. So you counter, and maybe that suits you more. I don't think Chelsea have got a style of play. That's their big identity problem at the moment. But they're definitely better against the better teams. I said that before the game. I think next week against Liverpool, they'll give them a game. At Villa Park, they played them off the park. So, yeah. They need a clinical striker, Andre. They do. Pep's delivering a few stone cold stunners now, says Aidan. Yeah, well, City. We'll see a different City in the second half. Yeah, we will. Yeah. Can't wait till City get ruined by FFP punishment, says Alex. And Nathaniel says, you look like Professor Goldbridge today. Good luck. Would you rather have Haaland or Højlund, says Jet. Look, we're all really happy with Rasmus at Manchester United, but Erling Haaland's a better striker. Like, Rasmus will tell you that himself. Like, I don't want to swap Rasmus for Erling Haaland, but Erling Haaland's the best striker in the world. That's the honest answer, if that's what you're looking for. But I tell you what the difference between Rasmus and Haaland is that Haaland is a service striker. Without service, Haaland isn't going to do anything. Whereas Rasmus is a bit like Nunez and a bit like Harry Kane. The modern, well, there's a different type of striker. The Harry Kanes, the Darwin Nunezes, the Rasmus Højlunds, they can get involved in the build-up. They can be creators and providers. They're different types of strikers. Erling Haaland is a finisher. He is the end product. He works in a Dortmund side. He works in a Man City side because they've got players that will create. You put Erling Haaland up front for somebody that isn't creating chances for him, and he'd have struggled at United over the last couple of years, definitely. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're closing in on 107,000. Get involved with That's Football. You're all very, very welcome, of course. Lots going on the channel at the moment, so thank you very much for your support. Can't believe it's coming up for nearly a week since we did the Super Bowl stream as well, which was absolutely incredible. Daily Smith says you're wrong. Well, I'm not wrong. Erling Haaland is shit at creating goals. He's not a creative. He's a striker. So I'm not wrong. I'm right. I'm factually right. I'm statistically right. I'm right on the eye test. He's a service striker. He's a finisher. He's not a build-up player. What happened to win, lose or draw, Mark, mate? Oh, I didn't do it this week. We couldn't record it on the Monday because I was doing the Super Bowl, so we had to miss a week. And I'm now like, if you miss a week, is there really any validity to it? He's a poacher striker. Yes, of course he is. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's not. It's quite a modern. You know, Harry Kane's changed the game when it comes to that, hasn't he? You know, this ability to create as well as score. Ollie Watkins is another one. Ollie Watkins is another striker that's capable of providing as well. It has a penalty box striker, says James. It has a name for a reason. And also, I mean, Erling Haaland is the top scorer in the Premier League. People forget that, people sort of like go, oh, Haaland's shit. He's just a penalty box striker. But he's the best penalty striker, best penalty box striker in the world. And therefore, is the best striker in the world, isn't he? And also, he's absolutely perfect for Manchester City. Was Aguero I mean, he wasn't bad at it, but was Aguero really creative? No. I think in a Pep Guardiola team, a striker that finishes is what you want. You don't want somebody dropping deep because you've got all these players capable of doing that. I mean, Erling Haaland's the top scorer in the Premier League this season. He's got 16 goals, and yet apparently he's having a bad season because he's not going to break the record. But I mean, that was just incredible last year. It really, really was. Top assists this year, Ollie Watkins has got 10. Erling Haaland, I don't think would be anywhere near. I don't know, Erling Haaland. Does he get many assists? Trying to find his name. Alvarez has got 6. Haaland's got 5. I mean, it's not terrible for a striker, 5 assists, but it's not really what he's all about, is it? But, you know, he will get assists in a team like Man City because the ball's going to be up and around the box a lot. Did you watch the American football, says Priest? Yes, I did. I think that, well, I've said it. Erling Haaland's the best striker in the world. Yeah. And I think in a Manchester City side, that's what Pep Guardiola wants. He wants a penalty box striker because he's got so much creativity going on around. He's got 2 wide players. He's got 2 number 10s really in the midfield if he plays Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne or De Bruyne and Foden. And then he's got a very creative holding midfielder in Rodri. You don't want a Harry Kane dropping into the spaces that De Bruyne and Foden are occupying. You want a penalty box striker that's occupying the centre-backs, pushing them back. Haaland's perfect for Man City. He's got pace, so the centre-backs push back, which affords more space for his attacking players. He suits that system. He would not suit Manchester United because we don't play like that. We don't create chances for our striker. What do we think is going to happen in the second half? Well, you know, if this was 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, I would expect Manchester City to get something out of it because they're capable of doing it. But I think if Chelsea can score the next goal, it makes it very, very interesting. Of course, Chelsea play Liverpool next week in the Carabao Cup final. We'll definitely be doing a watch-along of that. Be very interesting to see how that pans out. Liverpool have got a lot of injuries, but as we've seen today, don't write Chelsea off. They may be scroll down FC, but they're not at the moment. And that's the eyes on the prize. If Chelsea lose that, they're still in the bottom half of the table. If they win, they're up to 8th place. And what a prize that would be for them to have some positivity going into the Carabao Cup semi-final. Final. Not the semi-final. The final. The final. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner to get involved. And with regards to the title race, well, Man City are favourites. They can't afford to be losing games at the Etihad. They've got to go out there and turn this around in the second half. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I presume most of you would probably agree with me, I don't think Manchester City are really performing at their best at the moment this season. They've been very good. There's no doubt about that, and they're more than capable of winning the league. But I don't think they're firing on all cylinders by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that I think Pep Guardiola himself would probably admit that they just don't seem to be flowing as much. I don't know why that is. Some would say Gundogan and Mahrez are big losses for them in relation to that. Evolution's always going to be a thing, isn't it? But I think that they're still massively dangerous. There's no two ways about it. Let me just get rid of this idiot. There, okay. As a Norwegian, I'm sick and tired of Norwegians fishing for Haaland praise, says Messiah. Everyone has been glazing them for weeks, and now after 45 minutes, they're not playing well, says Biggs. No, I haven't been glazing them at all. I mean, they're out on the pitch for the second half. We watched them last week. I've always given Manchester City and even at 0-0, I said it. Manchester City are more than capable of winning a game 1-0 because defensively they're very good. But they're not the free-flowing Man City that we maybe saw last season. They're more than capable of grinding out results. But I don't think they played that well against Everton last week. I think if Everton had had a threat, it might have been a closer game. Copenhagen in midweek, 3-1. I'd expect them to do better than that. Burnley 3-1. 1-0 in the cup against Spurs. They beat Newcastle 3-2 in the last 10 minutes at St James's Park. So they're not at their free-flowing dominant best. I think that's what I'm saying. And I think that's what other people are saying. We know that what we're actually doing is paying a compliment to Manchester City, because I think there are more gears for them to go through. That's what we're basically saying. There are more gears for Manchester City to go through. Whether they can get into those gears this season, we'll have to wait and see. Who would you rather have playing for United, Mbappe or Haaland? And I love the show, says Show. I think it would have to be Mbappe, because Haaland is reliant on service, which doesn't always happen at Manchester United, whereas Mbappe is more creative, which sometimes you have to be at Manchester United. So I'd go Mbappe. And also, Mbappe is a better player than Haaland. But if I was Arsenal, I don't know whether I'd want... I don't know. If I was Arsenal, I might actually want Haaland more than Mbappe. I know Arsenal fans would say, no, you're having a laugh, but an out-and-out striker would probably not be a bad thing. Doku into the box. Now, what Man City will be looking to do is up the tempo in the first few minutes and get back into this game quickly, and then you've got the whole of the second half to win it. Well, here's a free kick for Man City. Casido again. Clumsy Casido. That's what they call him. And it's a good free kick position for De Bruyne. I mean, you don't want to be doing this in the first minute of the half, do you? Because we know what De Bruyne is. He is the quarterback. He is the Patrick Mahomes. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is a problem for Chelsea. See what happens here. De Bruyne is going to go top left corner for the way we're looking at it. Oh, he's not far off. He went the other corner. Ron Weasley, the magician. There we go. Just over the bar. Right. They've certainly come out second half pumped. Is Casido on a yellow card? Yes, he is. Is he going to get sent off? We'll have to wait and see. Doku's cross, back post. Not going to get there, Foden. But look, you've got to ride the storm. First 10 minutes of each half, when you're the away team, you've got to ride the storm. You know that. D1 says, rest in peace to those who've got captain Haaland. Yeah, mate, way too soon. Way too soon. Just Kevin says, you need to grow your hair out like Kevin De Bruyne. I don't know how he manages that hair. It'd just be, for me, it would just be like, what sort of product do you put in it? I don't know. Lovely ball. Oh no, that's a foul. That's a foul. Look at them. Look at them all around the map. Look at them all around the ref again. Haaland, descent. Rodri, not the captain. Yeah, that's a foul by Kyle Walker. He puts his leg across him. It's not a penalty. It's a foul by Kyle Walker. And they should be being booked for dissent. It's embarrassing. Still going on. Now he's the captain, not Rodri. Why is Rodri allowed to do it? Why is Rodri allowed to be in the referee's ear? He's not the fucking captain. So I'm with you, Lee. It's disgusting what they get away with on a football pitch. Hey, Pep Guardiola, you're meant to be the greatest manager in the world. If you think that's a penalty, you're an absolute tosser. It's not a penalty. No one thinks it's a penalty. Go on, that's the ball. Gusto. Palmer. That's a lovely flick by Haaland. They're in trouble here. Foden. Lovely cross. Oh my God. Who's that? Is that Chilwell? Crap defending and Haaland misses another chance. Chelsea need to be bloody careful here. So is it a good cross by Foden or is it bad defending by Chilwell who's too occupied by Haaland? Yeah, it's a good cross, I think. It's a good cross, to be fair. Chelsea just need this game to calm down a little bit. It's a bit too stretched, which is great if you're going to score. Here's Gusto. It's going to be a good second half, this. I'm going to go Man City 3-1. I think if it stays like this, I just can't see City not scoring a couple of goals. Jackson. Got to switch that. He's in all sorts of space. Oh, cut back. Too long. Oh, too long. Banger says it is a penalty. Yeah, I'm not even going to rise to it, mate. He literally runs past Sterling and extends his leg out like go-go gadgets to trip himself up. It's not a penalty in a million years. It's not a penalty when you move your leg in front of somebody so they kick you. That's not a penalty. So I'm going to do a poll whether it should have been a penalty, actually, because, you know, sometimes you don't read the room. Was it a penalty? Of course, it might not matter if I don't do it quick enough. All right, that cross has gone wide. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Nearly 20,000 view. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. You're very, very welcome. Aiden says they switch captain every game, Man City. I'd take Curtis Jones over Calvin Phillips, Amir. Oh, break for Chelsea here. Where's the break? Jackson. He's got to play this. Sterling never gets... Oh, it's Jackson again. He's hit and miss. Every fourth pass, he gets it right. Seriously, though, I'm just going to say this here. If Chelsea actually had a decent striker, and I know he created the first goal, but the amount of good ball Jackson's had, if they had a decent striker, they could be 2 or 3-0 up. I mean, he did really well on the Chelsea goal, but he's had 3 really good opportunities that he could have, you know, really contributed to a goal. Lovely play by Cole Palmer. Stay on side, you twat. Here's Gusto. What a save by Edison. Chilwell. And again. Cut it back. Could have been 2-0 there. He's made a big save, Edison. Enzo Fernandez. Where are you going? You got to pass, mate. Into Chilwell. Hit it first time, Gusto. Oh, he should have hit that first time. Chelsea knocking on the door a little bit here. But it's back on the halfway line now. Lovely ball there, though. Here's Chilwell. Such a good player, Chilwell, when he's fit. Very important. Bit of possession for Chelsea, though. I'd like to see that chance again. I think, was it Sterling who got on the end of that? But they're knocking the ball around Chelsea well. I mean, I've not seen them do this much. This is a lovely ball here. That's not it. Wrong ball. If Chelsea had an Mbappe-like striker, I think they'd be a lock-in for top forces, Lucas. I watched Chelsea against City in November at Stamford Bridge, and that's a good series, True Detective. And it finished 4-4, and I think if you put Erling Haaland up front for Chelsea, they win the game. And again today, I think if you put Erling Haaland up front for Chelsea, they're 2 or 3-0 up. And that's what Chelsea have got to do. Here's Doku. He's done really well, but Disasi's there again. I find MC disgusting and refs are for them. Cheats, says Harvey. I think he's talking about Man City. Just Keevan says, some player that Cole Palmer. Whatever happens in this last half an hour, I do think that Chelsea have probably not got the lead they should. I think they're good for 2, really. It's a bit like The Chase, this. If you've ever watched The Chase, have Chelsea got enough on the board to stop City? And the honest answer is probably going to be no. But we'll see. Simon says, I'm enjoying it. It's some game for the neutrals. Aidan says Celtic are bottling the league. Here's Doku. Not been very effective, Doku, at all, has he? I think he had that game, didn't he, where he did he get like 20 assists in one game or something? It sounded like it from the hype, and he's not really done anything since. A draw's not good for City, and no, they need to be winning these sort of games, 100%. Long way to go. Long, long way to go. Walker is going to cut this back. No, he doesn't. He puts the cross in, but it's headed away by Colwill. Nathan Aki. Akanji. Chelsea just set to break. You can't defend like this against Man City for half an hour. They will score. Got Bernardo Silva to come on as well. I mean, that's the thing about City. You know, you keep 11 of them out, and then they go and bring Bernardo Silva on. Good interception by Enzo. There's the clearance. Ruben Diaz uses experience. That's a foul. That's a good foul to give away as well. Painkilling says Cocoa Pops is the GOAT of cereals. Why is Cole Palmer getting booked for that? Why is that a yellow card? Like, I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. I don't understand why that's a yellow card. It's just a standard trip in the middle of the pitch. Yeah, Foden's not been in the game so far. I think he will be the he'll be the sub. That wasn't a yellow card. You know, I've played the game. I've watched the game. You know what's a yellow card. That's not a yellow card. It's just a standard foul when Nathan Ake goes past him. What a block. I thought Haaland was going to score then. But Chelsea there to block again. Chelsea could do with an attack here. They could do with a bit of the ball. Yeah, cross came in from Doku. One of his better crosses of the game. Hangs it up. Foden on the shot. Blocked by Disasi again, but he doesn't get much clearance on it because Alvarez cuts it down. But then look at Colwill. No way are you scoring that, Haaland. He's on it quick. But here's Foden again. He's come into it a little bit more. Nice cutback's going to come from De Bruyne. Everyone had made the wrong run, but Rodri's there. Now Foden. Doku into Foden. Oh, Rodri, how many times has he scored from there on the edge of the box? Crazy says Disasi's having a good game. I think Disasi's probably man of the match, isn't he? Don't know. Look, it'd be great. Look, I still think even if City didn't win this, I'd still say they're favourites because they're the best team and they're the holders. But I'll always say it. The more games that City don't win, the better it is for any title race. That was that chance from Edison that we've just seen as well. That saved by Edison. Petrovic has been booked now as well. I mean, what's this referee on? Is it basically just, I'm not going to book one Man City player for dissent, but I'm going to book Chelsea players for next to nothing? So he's booked Petrovic for time wasting. He's booked Palmer for a standard foul. Rather Doku or Grealish, says Chris. I'll run it as a poll, mate. 71% of you said it wasn't a penalty. Either or. Grealish or Doku. I have an opinion on this, and I'll tell it you, but I'll let you all vote first. City on the attack here. Good tackle. And Kunku's coming on. It's got to be for Jackson. Might be for Sterling, you know. Sterling. He's obviously keeping Jackson on for those young, fresh legs. Well, many people saw Nkunku as the saviour of Chelsea's season. He has been back for a few weeks now, but it can be a long road back, can't it? It can be. And here he comes, the man we knew would be coming on. He could be the game changer. I think he should be in the starting lineup. It's Alvarez who comes off as well, not Foden. So you've now got Silva, Foden and De Bruyne on the pitch. Doku stays on as well. Opinion on cold beans, says Cam. Not really a big fan of cold anything. Casido can't make the tackle. This could be the goal. Good save. And it's Disasi again. He's got to be man of the match because this is Haaland's signature move. On his left foot, he gets the shot off, deflected, and look at that. It's wild by Doku. They went for a quick corner there. But this is Casido can't make the tackle on Doku or it's a yellow card. He slips in Haaland on his left foot. Bit of a deflection from the shot by Disasi. I don't think Haaland connects well enough with it anyway. I don't think that's going in, actually. But Disasi again. Kevin says, my son Johnny loves your content. He's 8. Please give him a shout out. Big shout out to Johnny. Hope you're enjoying the match, mate. Lovely ball. Conor Gallagher in behind. If he can square this and keep him on side. Oh, Nkunku. What did he do that for? Jax. Oh, for fuck's sake. Chelsea in the final third. What are they doing? I think Enzo tackles Jackson there. What are they doing? This is like the chase. I don't think Chelsea have got enough in the bank here, and they should have done. That should be another goal. I don't know why Nkunku doesn't hit this first time. Conor Gallagher again. Cole Palmer again. Now, he's offside anyway. He'd have been offside. To be fair to Nkunku, it's a little bit behind him, but Enzo and I think Enzo hits that shot. Dear. That's selfish by Enzo, to be honest. Sourceman says, to be fair to Enzo, he knew Jackson was going to miss anyway, so he had a shot. Still got 25 minutes to go here. Really pulling for Chelsea here. Their keeper played for my local MLS team, and it's great to see him playing for a Premier League side and playing well, says Sully. Mark, have you ever had a Parmo from Middlesbrough, says Hey Babe? I did a video, Cooking with Goldbridge, I did it. I don't know whether it was a great version, but I did do it. Is that where it's like a battered chicken with like a white sauce on the top? It's very nice. It's probably not that healthy, but it was very nice. I think Jackson probably would have missed that chance anyway. It wasn't easy, but it was the Nkunku chance. He got himself offside. Conor Gallagher's pass was a little bit behind him. It wasn't going to be a goal anyway. There would have been an offside in the build-up. Nkunku would have been offside. But it just shows you that that is there for Chelsea on the break. You know, it is there for them on the break. 100%. It's there. But it's who's going to score next. If Chelsea get the next goal, then I don't see City getting anything from it. But oh, the fuck's that? And Nkunku's just not up to speed here, is he? If Jackson took that shot, the ball would be in Merseyside, says Arcade. Taylor says if Chelsea played like this every week, they wouldn't be 10th. Yeah, but they're not going to play against teams that let them counter every week, are they? It's you know, we've seen the benefits of this for. You know, United had this with Ollie. You know, we loved counter-attacking teams. Atty has triple captained Haaland. You've still got Brentford on Tuesday. Thanks, Sully. Good header again. I mean, Disasi today has been incredible. I hope he can carry on being incredible because he would deserve the praise. But this is Bernardo Silva. It's another block. I forgot about that. Yeah, in Middlesbrough, the best ones. It's like a delicacy here, says Hey Baby. You have them in the chip shops, don't you, I think? But look, still plenty of time for Man City to win this game, but they haven't been there, man. They haven't been Man City much today, have they? What's that pass there? You can't do that there, but Enzo Fernandez has done well. Done very well, and it's a throw-in. The old cheating ball boy there. Then Enzo Fernandez and Colwell are off the pitch, and Kyle Walker gets thrown a different ball and plays on. Got to say, it's just very good ball play by the ball boys or girls. Well done, Chilwell. Linda says, been a tough day today. Hope you're doing well, Linda. Cole Palmer's coming off with 20 minutes to go here. He's had a good game. He's had a good game. I wouldn't take him off, actually. I think he's been one of the better players on the ball for Chelsea. Always looks like he can keep the possession, which is really important in a game like this when you're trying to counter. Chalobah coming on. Has he gone defensive too early here? You know, he's basically giving up an attacker for a defender there. I think that just invites the pressure. I don't think that's a good sub. Good cross by De Bruyne. I reckon Nunez could become better than Haaland, says KRS. Eureka says that's a terrible sub. It does feel a little bit early. Does feel a little bit early. You mean you're basically just going to play attack against defence for 25 minutes, maybe longer, depending on how long gets added on. Here's De Bruyne. Sarsi. It's a nice ball into Grealish. To Chilwell. He's all on his own. He's going to have to go back to go forward, I think. He switches it quite well, but that's going to be Nathan Ake's ball. It's a shame. It's a shame that they're in a good position. Now Gusto. Done well, but Rodri's there. Diaz is there. Here's Gusto. See, he's not got that Cole Palmer ball now, so Gusto will push up further forward. And so will Chilwell. They'll become wing-backs, won't they? Which might change the dynamic. Terrible touch by Sarsi. It goes for a throw-in. SA says, should they sack Moyes after today? Well, they're not going to sack David Moyes when he's still in the Europa League and he's still in the top half of the table. It's just not going to happen. Lovely ball by De Bruyne. Great tackle again by Sarsi. Bernardo Silva with a dink to the back post, but Petrovic gets hold of that. See what I mean, though? It's just that one moment. From De Bruyne. Here's Foden. Looking for the pass. Oh, terrible touch. Nkunku's just not got up to this game at all. His touch is way off. What's for tea, Marks his hand? I've already had it. Steak pie. Doku. Aki. I think De Bruyne wanted to stay down so he could get the free kick. Can't go back for it now. You're not getting the free kick. He'll get up. Not sure De Bruyne did go down for the free kick, actually. Here's Doku in the box. Cut back. Bernardo Silva, corner. No, he's all right, De Bruyne. He did go down. To be fair, it was a free kick here. Casido catches him, and it could have been a second yellow as well. But another corner. Now, these corners from De Bruyne, he's been whipping them right in on the goalkeeper. They scored against Spurs by doing this. Man City, like Arsenal, have figured this out. Get right in on the keeper. Is De Bruyne? He'll whip it in again. No, he's not got that. And Gusto's there. De Bruyne embarrassing, says Callie. I think there was a connection there. But I think also he was aware where he was going down. It would have been a very good free kick position for him, wouldn't it? Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. I'll tell you what, it's been a cracking game. Whatever happens, you've got to say fair play to Chelsea. They made a game of it. Only 100 subscribers away from what? 107,000. So please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. Carl Walker's bringing it forward here. Surely Man City. When was the last time Man City didn't score at the Etihad? It just doesn't happen. Nicholas Jackson goes down. Doku is Adama Traore without the muscles and baby oil. He's just put in a good cross there, to be fair. Daniel Grants, you nearly jinxed that. Linda says it was 2021 and Haaland's missed again. Was he offside? Apparently it was 2021 against Crystal Palace, the last time they didn't score at the Etihad. There you go. Would have been De Bruyne. He was onside there. He's onside there. I don't know why Colwell's got his hand up. Erling Haaland's onside there. I've got De Bruyne and Haaland in my FPL and he's just missed another header. That's a big chance. But I'm sure there'll be another one because Chelsea at the moment aren't really offering anything since Cole Palmer went off. If it works, Pochettino will get the plaudits. If it doesn't work, I think that substitution is the one that changed the game. Chelsea just haven't been able to attack much since Cole Palmer went off and they went to a back five. And I don't think it's a good idea to just sit back against Man City. I think you've got to have an outball. Foden into Rodri. Disasi again. Doku. He is like St. Maximum, isn't he? He's just... he's got all the skills. Another corner. Another corner. I mean, look, a lot of people will be saying this would be a great result for Liverpool if it stayed like this. I mean, there's ages to go. And if they get one, they'll go for another one very, very quickly. Good header on by Chilwell on the back post, but Bernardo Silva's there. But it's a great result for Arsenal as well. Look, Arsenal have got a better goal difference. And Arsenal have got to go to the Etihad. So, you know, people are talking about Liverpool, Man City, but Arsenal could be cooking as well. Doku St. Maximum, says Michael Glynn. I think Haaland's had 2 chances he'd expect to score, though, with his head. 10 minutes of normal time to go. Probably another 6 or so of added time. I don't like this Chelsea plan. They've not had a decent attack in about 15 minutes, and they were getting more regularly breaks, but they just don't have the setup for it at the moment. It's just relentless, and I don't like it. I think you're asking them to defend way too much. It's just coming back all the time. They need a bit of possession here. Doku. Not been a great game from Doku so far. It's been okay, but... Another substitution. Don't know anything about this Chelsea player, so don't even know what position he plays. Don't recognise him at all. It's Jackson coming off. Oh, it's going to be even more defensive then, isn't it? Because unless this guy is an attacker with pace... It's just not going to cut the mustard here. Looks like he might be a winger. Number 31. Don't know anything about him here. Didn't even see the name. De Bruyne into Foden. In the box, you've got it. Bernardo Silva. Haaland on the back post, but there is someone there. Kyle Walker, edge of the box. Rodrigo! There you go. It was always coming. Went defensive too early. He's parked the bus way too early. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be pissed off with the manager here because all through the game, Man City have had more of the ball, but you've had a counter. And since he took off Cole Palmer, you've just been defending, and you can't do that. You can't do that. It's like the game The Chase. You should have had more goals in the bank, and you haven't, and now they're going to chase you down, and they'll win this game now. And to be honest, I don't think City have been that good, but I think Pochettino has completely and utterly fucked up his tactics. 1-1. Carlos wants a draw because he doesn't want Chelsea to get close to United. It's infuriating. It's infuriating. To see a Chelsea team that was playing so well for 70 minutes and then a coach just completely and utterly fuck it up with a stupid tactic. I mean, every attack Chelsea had, they looked a threat on the break. And he goes to a back 5 with 20 minutes to go. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen with 20 minutes to go if you go to a back 5? You're just inviting them into your box. Bernardo Silva gets a yellow card. I don't know what he's moaning about. Sarah says, we're losing this now as a Chelsea fan. It must be so frustrating because you've had the game plan to probably get a win, at least a draw. And he's jeopardised that by just completely shifting to a tactic that I just don't get. I really just don't get it. They were defending well as a back four. He's not changed the midfield anyway. And now they've got nothing on the attack. They've got the ball at the moment, Chelsea, but they really just can't make anything happen. City play Arsenal at the Etihad now. Who wins, says Thomas. I think it'd be a good game at the moment, but if City can keep grinding out wins like Everton and today, when they're not at their best, at some point they will click into gear. And this is the thing I've always said about City, is that they're more than efficient. They're more than capable of grinding results out. They don't need to play well to win, Man City. We've seen that. They've got a good enough defence and they've got a good enough attack. It's all going to come down to how long he's going to get added on. And I tell you what, the Nkunku substitution, he don't look ready at all. He reminds me of Calvert-Lewin last week. He's redundant. He just doesn't look. You know, surely Pochettino would have known that from training, that he's not match fit. And he made that substitution very early. I mean, Chelsea haven't got a game midweek, have they? I don't think Chelsea have got a game midweek. Why are you taking off Raheem Sterling and Cole Palmer with 25 minutes and 20 minutes to go? I don't get it. Man City have got a game on Tuesday. Arsenal have got a game on Wednesday. Liverpool have got a game on Wednesday. Chelsea haven't got a game. They ain't got a game until a week tomorrow. So why are you taking people off after 70 minutes? Doku, Rodri, De Bruyne, they've been on the pitch for 90 minutes. Why are Chelsea taking players off so early? I think Poch has bottled it tactically, yeah. Spartavus says Chelsea were wasteful as well. Purple Butterfly says Sterling should have stayed on the pitch for his pace. So should Connor Jackson. So should Cole Palmer. I mean, these are players. Cole Palmer doesn't need to be taken off. Chilwell's miles offside here. Yeah, Lee Berman's right. You can't invite that level of pressure for that long. Connor Jackson. No, not Connor Jackson. De Bruyne with the cross. Bernardo Silva on the back post. How long are they going to add on here? That's going to be the key to the kingdom. How long are they going to add on? Into the 89th minute. Grealish and Doku came out close. 51% Grealish and 49% Doku. What do you think about the goal being a bit lucky for City? Well, you take a shot, you buy a ticket, you sometimes win the lottery. They've had enough half chances, City. Just Keevan says it's been a good game. There shouldn't be any more than 6 minutes added on, I don't think. There shouldn't be, but you just don't know, do you? Well, I'm on Talk Sport straight after this, so are we going to have pissed off Chelsea fans on their way home? Or are we going to have excited Arsenal and Liverpool fans calling up about title favourites? I think it might be pissed off Chelsea fans on the way home, to be honest. 4 minutes. Now then. 4 minutes. You'd fancy Chelsea to hold on for that long, surely. And if they do, I think Pochettino's been a bit lucky. But he would have took that before the game, of course. Gusto's cross. And Kunku got the shot off. What do we got? What do we got? You'd feel there'd be one more chance for City. Please do subscribe. We're only 50 subscribers away. We're on 946. We're only 50 away from 107,000. I'm going to end the poll. Grealish, 51%. Doku. City with a chance to throw it into the box here. Still got a lot of time left. Shot from distance. Kyle Walker. We've seen Vincent Kompany score those in title races before. Don't be staying. Get up, Enzo. Don't be allowing added time. Don't let him add any more time on. Nobody beats us away. Simple, says Mullet. Stupid from Walker, says Matt. "90 seconds. What does it do for the title race if it stays like this? If it stays like this, City would be a point off Liverpool if they win the game in hand and a point ahead of Arsenal. It would have been better for Arsenal if it had been a loss, but a draw is still good. But there's still time here. How many times have we seen Man City do it late? Watch out for Aguero. Phil Foden could be their last-ish attack here. Maybe a little bit. No, there's probably time for two. Nathan Ake into Doku. Not really done much all game, but it only takes one. Corner. We've seen them do it late against Spurs in the Cup. This could be it. It's big for Liverpool. It's big for Arsenal. De Bruyne's on it. We're on Weasley, the magician. Keeper palms it away. Colwell clears it. Edison's on the halfway line. 20 seconds to go. Nearly messed it up. Foden. Probably going to be the last attack. Rodri, where's he going? Goes wide. Bernardo Silva. Cross is good. Haaland. Edge of the box. Doku. Cleared. Referee, you've had 4 minutes. You've had 4 minutes, ref. You've had ref, you've had 4 minutes. Bernardo Silva. Cross. Ake. Wide. Are we blowing the ref, are we blowing the whistle or what? Man City want a penalty. Nah. No way. No way. Would you swap City squad and manager right now if it meant United had to deal with the press about where we got it from? If they give a penalty for that, it's a corner. Why are we playing this much time? Why has he added so much time? That'll do. That'll do. 1-1. Well done, Chelsea. Well done, Chelsea. That's a big point. Well done. Well done to the referee and VAR for not giving a penalty as well. Right, I've got to get over to Talk Sport. I'm live in like 2 minutes' time. I'll see you over there. It's on YouTube as well. Take care, everyone. Big result.